The Mini Talon is back on the bench to be built. This is a V-tail. Here's the little piece of paper that comes with it. It doesn't give you much information about putting it together, but it gives you a little. So I'll be starting to build this up in the next couple of days. I made some decisions on the autopilot and such. So let's get started on it again. I made some decisions on the Mini Talon. First of all, I'm going to use this F765 wing as the flight controller for it. Reason for that is I can run Ardu plane on it, and I can run iNav on it to play with both of them. So we'll be working the Mini Talon up with a 765 wing on it right there. Finally figured out what I'm going to do with the pan and tilt. This is something I had been working up. I think it's got the top on it I want for RunCam 2 4K up here. That's kind of a big camera. And a little RunCam Swift or something in this area for the FPV camera. This wood comes with the Mini Talon. I printed out the pan and tilt mechanism. I can get it off of this now. There we go. I printed this out. All of this comes with the Mini Talon. Don't think I'm going to use it. I think I was gluing it together. Got the paint to paint it black, flat black, and I was getting ready to cut it, and I think I've come up with a different idea for the pan and tilt. So I will set this aside for another Mini Talon. I printed out this deck for the front of the Mini Talon. It's fashioned after this one exactly. There's the other pieces of it, and you can see it also. The little angled pieces glue in. Probably won't be able to hold this. And then this glues in the back. Let's see if I can get it on one of them anyway. There we go. So, boy, why is that crack so big right there? I must have this one. Yeah, this one on backwards. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Much better. So there's how that goes together, and that's the little platform. This is made for a full-size servo. Now this servo, as you can see it in my hand, is pretty darn big. The beauty of this servo is it goes like 420 degrees. So I printed this out. This is going to go in here, and that lets the servo sit down in it. and screw in. I'll have to cut the foam underneath. And then that'll be the pan portion of the pan and tilt. And the problem is see this servo right here, the pan servo. It just didn't. I can't find a 360-degree one or anything. This one only goes 180. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart right here, and I'm just going to fix this top part onto that pan mechanism, and this will be the tilt. Just a second, let me get a screwdriver. So real quick, I'm going to take these screws out. There's 4 of them. I couldn't get a metal geared servo for this pan in this micro size. Otherwise, this would be a really good setup. If we could get micro servo in a 360-degree flavor, metal geared. I don't care what it costs. I only need one. But I couldn't find anything like that. Oops, I'll have to take the screw out of the bottom also. So this will go fully right, fully left, but will not look behind you in any shape, form, or fashion. It'll go all the way to the right, all the way to the left, 90 degrees, that's it. Okay, take this apart, take this servo out. We won't be using that. We won't be using any of this. We won't be using those 4 screws or that little servo horn. We'll be using this. Yeah, I think this is going to work fine. And this is going to mount on top of here. And that's going to be my pan and tilt setup. And yes, I can see that's going to get me high enough with both cameras to look over the top. It's going to be a lot in the wind, but I don't know how to do anything about that. So that's the decision I've made on the pan and tilt for the Mini Talon. And I like that decision. I think that's going to work out pretty good. So now finally that decision has been made, I can proceed with the build. There were several months. I just couldn't figure out what to do on the pan and tilt. So when I have problems like that frequently, I just set it aside and let it percolate, so to speak. Let it ferment, whatever. And one day I'll look over and go, well, if I do X, Y, and Z, that'll work, which is what I did in the past 2 days with this in front of you. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to fly that. We'll see what happens. It's a lot of printed plastic to break on the first crash, but I can recreate all that stuff real easily. It's all printed on my 3D printer. So let's see what we can do with this. I drilled the plate, we're going to call it a plate for want of a better word, with 4 holes for the top piece and mounted 4 M3 bolts through the structure. I put blue Loctite on the nuts. I put blue Loctite on the keeper screw for the servo there. I put blue Loctite on that. So now this is my pan and tilt module. Got a little servo tester on it here. We'll turn it on, and you can see the tilt part. It can look down, and it can somewhat look up. That's all I need, is a little bit there. Looking down may be good. So that's the tilt part of it. Let me plug in the pan part real quick. Probably shouldn't do this with the power on. That's what happens when people get in a hurry. So now this is the pan part. So it goes all the way around back, and then 90 degrees back to center, and it goes all the way back, and then 90 degrees. I forget, the servo says it's a 390 degree servo. I find it to be more than that. So that'll let me look behind me. It'll even let me look to the right by going all the way around. And this direction I can look behind me. Oops. And all the way to the left if I have to. Going to have to really do something with these servo cables. They're going to be really flopping in the wind, because they're going to have a lot of slack for as much turning as is going to be going on here. But that's my pan and tilt module as I have come up with it. Like I say, I've been trying to figure out what I would do with this for months, and that's finally it. So there it is. I have to screw the servo down now and then glue this plate together. I'll wait until I get ready to put it on the foam before I glue the other 3 pieces on it. But that gets my pan and tilt taken care of, and now we can go on and see what problem pops up next on the Mini Talon.